contributing to the Superchain through promoting the events,
consensus mechanisms for fractal organizations. And within that period, I've had 2 interviews.
Organizing apps as well as documentation about fractals to have one place which documents all the processes and mechanisms that fractals have been using throughout their history.
This is our hats tree that's on OP mainnet. I'm starting to build out our hats tree for the Zaal Fractals, and I created a Zaal community member. Nouns DAO Africa could leverage the respect game and the respect token to add an additional level of governance in addition to just nounish tokens.
So I wrote the proposal for the 2-event mid-season summer break for Optimism Fractal, and I went through it in detail. I'm working on publishing that soon to help show people all the updates here. It's due in maybe 5 days or so. So I've been working on that. This is the legal and compliance framework development. Hello everybody and welcome to Optimism Fractal. We're here for our 66th event. I'm so pleased to be here with Tadas, Rosmari, Zaal, and Harvesto. We've been having some great conversations and we're ready to play the respect game. Thanks for being here, thanks for watching. If anyone wants to say hello, then feel free, and I'm going to give a presentation about Optimism Fractal and kick us off. So we are the day one heroes as well as many builders on the Superchain, and we are here gathering for our final event before the summer break. This is our 6th amazing event of the season, our 6th season, and then we'll be taking a pause to recharge and return stronger on September 4th. So here we're going to be playing the respect game and shaping the future of Ethereum and contributing to the Superchain here. So you can learn more in this thread from the Optimistics and check out the awesome anime art where people are having fun playing the respect game. And go to optimismfractal.com to learn more about this community. It's a community dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance on the Superchain. We've been doing this since October 2023, almost 2 years now, and we host bi-weekly events that provide a perfect place to network, make friends, and collaborate with talented builders on the Superchain. At each event, we play the Respect game, an innovative on-chain social game that pioneers new forms of coordination for communities. Each participant will share what they've recently done to help contribute to Optimism, and then collaboratively rank each other's contributions and earn respect if they can reach consensus. Respect is a soul-bound token that provides growing benefits as our reputation system expands, I should say. And we record videos too, so you're welcome to both join our videos and showcase your work, as well as watch our videos for educational resources about the Superchain, what people are building on Optimism. And we are building with respect to. So Optimism Fractal implements and tests the Optimistics Toolkit, an open source suite of tools for community coordination and decentralized governance. You're welcome to learn more about all of these resources on the website. Optimism Fractal is an excellent place to develop your on-chain career and business. You can grow your reputation and learn how to implement these tools and mechanisms for better decision making. See the links to see where it's recorded and so forth, and the great feedback and benefits of Optimism Fractal, feedback we received, as well as places where we're building in public, such as our open source repositories, our Notion site, and just explore the website and blog articles for more details. And Optimism and the wider Ethereum ecosystem is an excellent place to earn funding. You can earn funding from retro funding and other places by contributing and making a positive impact, which you can learn more about on the website, optimismfractal.com and optimism.io. Here at Optimism Fractal, we're pioneering the future of governance. It's a culmination of years of development from hundreds of leaders working to create a more free and fair society. We are consistently experimenting with fractal democracy and adhering to our protocol specifications about playing the respect game and making decisions together. You can learn more about all this and our history and our intents and how you can get involved in the Optimism Fractal Sages Council here on the site by scrolling down a little bit, as well as the Onchain or DAO software that facilitates our respect distribution in games and other systems like HATS Protocol, Optimism Town Hall that we sometimes host and so forth. Optimism Fractal is founded and presented by Optimistics, which you can learn more about at optimistics.io, and supported by Eden Fractal, which you can learn more about at edenfractal.com. And we're building the Superchain together, an interconnected network of blockchain scaling Ethereum on the OP stack, along with OP mainnet, Base, World, Sonium, Inc., Unichain, Zora, Mode, and many others joining the Superchain. Learn more at optimism.io, ethereum.org, base.org, etc. Best way to get involved is by joining our bi-weekly events on Thursdays at 7 UTC. And the next one will be happening on, I believe it was September 4th. Another great way to get involved is check out the Optimism Fractal videos page. Check out each of our respect games, including this Fun Times one with on-chain builders from the most recent event, as well as public goods creators. We have amazing contributors in the community, amazing artwork and show notes and stuff for each one of these, where you can learn more about all the great things happening in Optimism Fractal Season 6 and prior. Encourage you to watch. And we also have the Optimism Governance thread or Governance Forum thread too, where you can catch up with highlights and see what's going on in the world of Optimism Fractal. Encourage you to check it out, as well as the Eden Creators YouTube channel, where we publish all these videos, as well as Eden Fractal and other communities too. Please like and subscribe, help spread the word, and feel free to RSVP and invite friends to the Optimism Fractal events calendar on Luma, where you can get email reminders. You can find all the events on the Optimistics event calendar. All these will be in the show notes in the description as well, how you can get involved. And then I'm going to give a quick communities, which I kind of hinted at already, but just want to be very clear here. So this past week, I made a proposal for a 2-event mid-season summer break for Optimism Fractal, and this proposal was approved by all 3 council members for this session's, or I suppose this cycle's council, as well as Zaal also voted in support too. So thanks everybody for the support for this proposal. You can see more details about this and the summary and the purpose and context and strategic rationale and stuff like that in the proposal. But basically, yeah, we're going to be returning on September 4th, which means that Optimism Fractal will be skipping its events in August. We may be organizing some other community events during this time too. So stay tuned on our Discord and other places for that. But I hope everybody enjoys the summer break from Optimism Fractal, and Eden Fractal still will be meeting for one more time before its break it'll be meeting one more time next week on the 31st of July, and then it'll be having just a 1-event break. You can see these discussions about these breaks in our most recent videos, including this most recent Eden Town Hall video, and check out more about what's going on in Eden Fractal. I encourage you to join both these communities, as well as check out the proposal for more details. So that's that with the news. Encourage you to join both. And with that, we're going to play the respect game. So thanks everybody for watching the presentation and your patience. And everybody here is welcome here at the respect game. But for anybody who's watching along and not sure what the respect game is, we have an article where you can learn about what is the respect game and who it's used for and so forth. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to each basically share our contributions to Optimism. If we had more than 6 people, then we go into randomized regular groups, but we'll probably just stay in this group here because we have a nice cozy group of 5. And then each person will take about 4 minutes to share their recent work on what they've done to contribute to Optimism in the Superchain. And then after everybody goes, then we can ask questions and rank each other's contributions from who did the most to help, second most to help, third most to help, fourth most to help, and so forth. And if we can reach 2/3 consensus on the rankings, then everyone will receive respect. People who receive higher ranks will receive more respect. You can learn more about this on the screen and on that page, optimistics.io/respect game. And I hope that everyone will have a great time. It usually is. So yeah, feel free to share questions, share your screen, share any links, and have fun. Hope everybody has a great time. With that, I'm going to stop my screen share. And here we are on day 1. Looking forward to hearing from all the heroes in this room. Would anybody like to go first?
Okay, I can join. I can go first.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Rosmari.
Okay, cool. So these past 2 weeks, I've been in research mode. So I was researching day 1 rollout from base, and been active on X. And you can check out more on my account, but mainly I've been contributing to the Superchain through promoting the events that we host, as well as researching and retweeting other initiatives, which I'll mention later. So first of all, I made this image, and I promoted today's event on X and other social media channels like Farcaster and Telegram, Discord, and so forth. And then I promoted from my account. Last week we had Eden Fractal event that Tadas hosted, and Eden Fractal and Eden Town Hall. So that is the promotion for those events. And had a more targeted or bigger event for that as well. And I made that image. And in the Twitter thread, I also promoted their spec game, some contributions from the previous time we had an Eden Fractal event where we played their spec game that was focused on decision making, coordination, decision making tools, and tools and methods that we were like brainstorming about and ranking each other's contributions for coming up with them, or like what we've contributed for the growth of them, or like our involvement with them. We're still figuring out the best prompt for their spec game, but that's kind of what happens at the Eden Fractal event. Then we had the town hall. So I shared some of the key kind of community discussions there, and also promoted like what the topics were for that town hall event, and also some highlights and so forth. And then I edited the videos from Optimism Fractal's last event and the Eden Fractal from last week on the Eden Creators YouTube channel. I'm still editing the town hall, but that's almost done. And then I also have been researching, as I mentioned, a lot about content creators, more so on-chain content creators, and I started making my own like space in Notion where I would start coming up and organizing different like ideas and resources and docs and so forth, and turning them into projects. And for example, I started looking into content creators and made this database with about 100 of them, with like information like about social links, main platform that they use. And that will really help me think about like what kind of content I'd like to create. So that's kind of what I generated here. That's really helpful. And then also I did the same for tools, apps, protocols, and more about content creation. And I'm still at the beginning of it, but I started like just curating that list, and that's really helpful going forward, because I want to like focus on my just creating content and building my audience. And yeah, like I have all sorts of screenshots of like items to get and whatnot. And apart from this, I also have been curating this, like before I started organizing this into a Notion space, I've been just taking screenshots for the past few weeks of like ideas, and now these I have to like transfer into those projects and make it more useful. Apart from this, I've been also talking with Dan, I think, about stuff like, I don't know, like business stuff, fractals, development, and whatnot. I joined like a call, more so internal call we had with Tadas and Abraham, and I think that happened this week. And so, but I was just there for kind of moral support, more so. But last week I joined the DAO Fractal, and I provided some feedback about the improved version of Fractogram that Abraham did. That's it from me. Tadas, would you like to go next?
Yeah, Harvesto said he wanted to go next, so I
Yeah,
will
sure.
pass it on to him. Harvesto, you're there?
Yeah, yes, I am. Can you guys hear me well?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So I wasn't able to attend last week or last 2 weeks call. So, but pretty much what I've been working on in the past 2 weeks since the last call, it's been my research for about fractal consensus mechanisms for fractal organizations. And within that period, I've had 2 interviews. The first was with Will from Kingfisher Media, and the second was with Zaal from Zaal Fractal. I got the initiative from Dan to record the calls so they can serve as more resources people can check out after reading the research or the case study. So I recorded Zal's score, and I intend to get permission from the next interviewers and record the call and keep that as a resource. So yeah, one excerpt I'd like to share from my conversation with Will is it's about the last call I attended. You know, if we remember, some people had to give up their chance to receive some respect so that others could participate. And this was due to is due to the structure of the respect game consensus. So Will responded that there is actually a caveat to that. And additionally, a way around it is, the timeliness of the attendees and having or knowing that there is a certain time period with which the evaluation of the work that we are doing, or rather we showcase the work we've done, that the attendees need to be present before the evaluation period starts, right? And that once the evaluation period starts and we're showcasing the work we're doing, people who join after that, they are more or less bystanders or witnesses to the work that's being showcased rather than having to participate with or participate in the respect game. So that was actually a great observation by him due to our conversation. And I wanted to share that with Dan in his DM, but I felt like this would better be shared to during the call. So I would actually love to hear what we think about that. So I responded by saying that I think it should be adopted and properly broadcast. That once the presentation starts properly and you're not there, or you're just joining, you're there to see what your peers have been up to, and you can't play the game. So that would eliminate the need for someone to have to give up their spots in the respect game. And yeah, everything is good. So um, I as for the call with Zal, we had a great time diving deep into the Zao ecosystem. I got to learn that Zao is an organization, and also the Zao Fractal is the Brother, sorry. The Zaal organization is an organization for creatives. It started from music, but it has grown past that because there are other creatives out there, music videos and the rest of it. And it manages the initiatives of the organization. For example, the Zaochella festival they had some time ago, while the Zao Fractal is like the consensus arm of the organization. So, and one key thing I learned from the conversation with Zao is that the Zao Fractal has an active governance consensus or mechanism, right? And some of these proposals they've passed in the past, they involved collaborations with other organizations. He did share, I've forgotten the details exactly, but he did share a collaboration he had with an organization. And yeah, so moving on, I've been fleshing out the outline of the research properly in a Google document. And while I've been doing that, I've also been talking with Dan and Tadas, getting all the help resources I can get to for more context on the consensus mechanisms. So the next step would be to reach out to the people we've identified who are either core members or the founder of the fractal organizations in the list. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Right. Sounds great. Thank you, Harvesto. I see chat, or rather, Zal wrote in the chat, well explained, Harvesto. Love the call. Great chatting with you. Great to see. And yeah, I'd love to see that video as well or hear the recording. And yeah, happy to discuss in more detail the idea that you had suggested or that Will suggested that you were talking about too. Curious to dive in deeper to that and better understand it. Perhaps maybe we should talk about that after we finish playing the respect game. And I see Tadas is in agreement with that. Harvesto, would you like to pick somebody to go next?
Oh yeah, I think Tadas should do next.
Okay.
Okay. Can go next. I share my screen. Okay. Yeah, so I will also paste my contributions into the Zoom chat. Yes. So yeah, my main focus these past 2 weeks regarding contributions to fractals was this Frapps repository. I'm repurposing it a bit. Now it's more like high level. It's more for high level concepts and organizing apps as well as documentation about fractals. This is something that I wanted to do for a long time, like to have one place which documents all the processes and mechanisms that fractals have been using throughout their history, because I think there is a lot of useful mechanisms that we discovered and a lot of useful data about what works and what does not work. And yeah, thanks to Harvesto's research, and Harvesto, he basically need this can also help his research, and he motivated me to do it right now, to start with this repo finally. Yeah, so I don't remember if I presented. I think I started right before the previous Optimism Fractal meeting. I don't remember if I presented it there. But basically you have a directory. Well, first of all, directory for all the fractal applications. Well, not all that, but at least the ones that we as optimistics have been working on. Then you have fractals directory for different fractals, which contains first of all an index which organizes all the basically rules and processes, consensus processes, and everything you need to know to understand how it worked, and at different points in time. And finally, you have concepts directory, and this is, I think, over the last week, what I've been working on most. And yeah, so concepts directory documents all the mechanisms that are already generalized in a way where it can be applied to any other fractal, I would say. Yeah, and it also contains concepts that have been reused between fractals. The last concept I documented was tripartite governance model, and this is I did this right before starting to work on Optimism Fractal, because Optimism Fractal we have been using this. We started using this concept in Optimism Fractal first, and it's one of I would say more useful concept that we discovered and that I think we can be reused. It also mentions relationship with thinking fast and slow model, and yeah, it contains sources which like gives you an idea how this concept develop. Yeah, then what else? Other contributions. just general help for Harvesto doing his research on consensus mechanisms. Like for example, collected contacts for participants of fractals. Yeah, and then just some general contributions to Fractalgram and the Fractalgram app that Abraham is building and its integration with ORDAO. So we held the ORDAO Fractal meeting last week where we tested some new features. Yeah, and later this week, previously this week, we had a meeting where I helped Abraham debug and we discussed some ideas about general strategy regarding integration between ORDAO and Fractalgram. So yeah, for those who don't know, we are talking about Fractalgram that Optimism Fractal prefers to use to play respect game. Yeah, that's all from my side.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Tadas. Would you like to pick somebody to go next?
Dan, can you go?
I can, yes. If Zaal, you want to go before me, then you're welcome to. We haven't heard as much from me, but I can go first, and then Zaal can go afterwards if that works out best.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm always
Okay.
down to go.
Okay, well, Tadas picked me to go. So,
Oh.
but and Zaal's sharing his screen. So
I feel like you always want to go last, so I'll go for you, and
okay.
and then you can go.
Sounds good.
So what have I done in the last few weeks? I think I missed last Optimism Fractal technically, so it'd be a month. But in the last couple weeks, I pulled up a couple of things that I've been doing on the Superchain. I was pulling up like 3 or 4 things initially that I've been working on, and then I just realized they're not on the Superchain or they're not involved with it. So I decided to make sure I found some specific things that we're building that are on the Superchain. So this is our hats tree that's on OP mainnet, and I built out a hats. I'm starting to build out our hats tree for the Zaal Fractals, and I created a Zaal community member where if you have one Zaal token, you can join and claim this hat. Then the second additional thing I did was I added in an artist agreement here for Wave Wars so that people could permissionlessly come in and sign our artist agreement, and we didn't have to like email it to them or DocuSign it, but we actually had it on chain. So that was awesome. And both of those things actually weren't working with Hats Protocol, so I had to actually debug it for 2 or 3 days with them, just kind of going back and forth, sending a couple error messages to them, and they ended up sorting it out and pushing the code, and it worked perfectly. So I'm excited to start now navigating to all of the other projects and adding a community member hat that anyone can join with. The second big thing I've been working on is I've been getting more involved with the Nouns DAO Africa community. So the Nouns DAO Africa community is a community that seems like it's been around technically for quite some time now, but they were very inactive until more recently when activity on Ethereum picked up. So they've now changed their contracts to be every 6 hours. So essentially, getting involved with Nouns DAO Africa has actually really been interesting because Generic Vibes has been a leader in the resurgence of Nouns DAO Africa and has been interested in seeing ways that Nouns DAO Africa could leverage the respect game and the respect token to add an additional level of governance in addition to just Nounish tokens. So I invited them to the Eden Fractal next week as well, and I think that'll be a really good opportunity to get another fractal ecosystem involved that has a lot of users and can really benefit from everything we've been building. Then I've been a beta tester with M3 Wallet. If you guys want to check out m3.xyz, add yourself to the wait list. But this is a phenomenal tool that Prism from the MIDI Punks, who's a community we've collaborated with, has created, where it scans your wallet for all of the music NFTs you have, and also as a player. So I have all of these different music NFTs, and I can kind of take a look at them and play any one of them that I want, or just kind of leave it on shuffle. So occasionally when I'm getting bored of my music, I'll pop onto my wallet app and just listen to shuffle on all my music NFTs. And it's really cool because there's a bunch of these that I got that I hadn't actually listened to before I bought it because I was supporting someone. And I either didn't remember it or had never heard it at all. So that was really cool to find NFTs that I hadn't been seeing. And then the last thing we've been working on is posting the pods every week or so for our Let's Talk About Web3 podcast. So that's been a blast, and it's been really cool to be able to leverage such a really cool platform to tokenize podcasts and media like that. So that is it from me. Thanks, guys.
All right. Great. Thank you, Zaal. I see Rosmari put up the heart a couple times. And that's em3.xyz is the website there that you shared towards the end. Thanks for all the great work, Zaal, and I'll go ahead now and share what I've done to contribute to Optimism over the past couple weeks. All right, so here I go.
Wait one sec, real quick before you go, Dan. I also
Yes.
had an interview in the last 2 weeks with Harvesto, which was phenomenal and a lot of fun. I did forget to mention that, so I just needed to mention it at the end there. So that was a blast. It was really cool talking more. Every time I have a interview with people in the fractal ecosystem, it's a lot more interesting of a conversation for me because we dive deeper into what fractals mean versus most conversations being about what fractals are. So I appreciated that, Harvesto, and the intellectual side of that was really fun. So thanks for that, and you did a phenomenal job.
Right. Thanks for sharing that additional contributions, all, and thanks for the interview for you two. I see Rosmari and Harvesto both put up a heart, and then Harvesto put up sunglasses. And it builds up the anticipation and intrigue, makes me want to listen and ask some questions about when or where I can listen to it. Maybe we mentioned on pods, who knows? All right, so now I'll go and share what I did to contribute to Optimism over the past couple weeks. I'm Dan Singjoy. You can learn more about me on my website. That's way too long. I got to update it. dansingjoy.com is where you can learn about me. I'm hosting this event, which is a contribution, and also there's other stuff here too that I sometimes mention, but I won't do right now. I did also host the Eden Town Hall event, the 60th one. This was a cozy event as well, but we had some great discussions about fractal ecosystem and how it's growing on base and optimism and next steps, working on next steps for Eden Fractal Epoch 2 and so forth. Thanks everybody for the great insights there. So I encourage you to watch that video. It's gonna be published pretty soon. Thanks to Rosmi for editing that video as well. But yeah, I hosted that, and then I also put together some different topics that we could discuss and so forth, and had did some research on the mid-season break schedule and so forth as a way to propose it to the community. And then I also hosted the Eden Fractal 124th episode as well. I also updated the title to Consensus Coast. And then, yeah, this was a place where we played on base, the respect game, to measure contributions to the respect game. So that was another great event that we had there. And then, as shared before, I shared the proposal. Well, I wrote the proposal for the 2-event mid-season summer break for Optimism Fractal, and I went through it in detail about both the summary and then the context and then the strategic rationale about why this is useful for the Optimism Fractal community as well as the wider Optimism Collective. And then I also went through the governance context and framework about why the Optimism Fractal is making these kinds of decisions or recommendations and how it benefits our community and the conclusion. And this was approved unanimously. So set us forth on our break. And then, yeah, I have that open, but I already showed the Eden Town Hall. I also took part in the DAO Fractal 4, where Abraham showed his new updates. Tadas hosted this, I think like a week and a half ago or something like that. And I started to do some very basic editing and then added some timestamps to it and description. So I'm working on publishing that soon to help show people all the updates here. And then I participated in that call with Tadas and Rosmari and Abraham as well. about next steps for the app and trying to fix some bugs and stuff. I've also been working and closing up my research in the Optimism Fractal Respect game, research into democratic fund distribution. So I have one deliverable that is left, and that will be that's due in maybe 5 days or so. So I've been working on that. This is the legal and compliance framework development. So it's not published yet, but I have been doing significant amount of research both this week and for the past weeks into the compliant and privacy preserving fund distribution, and looking at things like ZK proofs and so forth to be able to distribute funds and be able to be compliant, but not have it where it compromises people's security and so forth. So I've been doing some research into that as well as the general nonprofit structure and so forth as well. And I'll share more details about that soon. You can stay tuned for the upcoming deliverable. I've also been working with Tadas more on going back and forth. We've been writing back and forth about ideas for the Fractal Ecosystem Development Plan, which has ideas for both businesses and nonprofits that can work in the Fractal ecosystem. And both in this document and a couple of documents that Tadas created, we've gone back and forth with like 100 comments or something like that, probably over the past weeks. And then I also wrote, or didn't write anything here, but I just read all the Frapps. I suppose Frapps Fractals repository section and just gave Tadas a little bit of feedback. I said it was great work, but I just read that carefully. And then I also responded to Harvesto a good amount about the Fractal research project that he's working on too, and a bunch of chat messages, added some contacts that you could reach out to, and added some information. Tadas responded much more than me in this case, but I also responded a good amount. And over the past couple weeks, I'd improved some articles and sent it to Harvesto too, which I'm not sure if I mentioned in previous calls. So there's that. And then also I've been supporting Rosmari too. So with her business ideas and more so creator ideas, and like I put some different resources here about like ways to I suppose on-chain monetization tools on Superchain and funding sources and content creators to use as inspiration. I had a long conversation with her about also the importance of what we're doing here and how we can maybe balance these kinds of different things that we do. And then do a lot of research too into the new Base app. I think it's really exciting. And Zor and Farcaster, I think it's really great. So I've been doing research. I watched the video about that New Day One. And then in general, I'm just doing a lot of research into Ethereum all the time too. I'm listening to a lot of Bankless podcasts and so forth. So I think that is a good overview for me for now. And if anybody has any questions or Rosemary sees Google Docs, yeah, I don't usually use Google Docs. I usually use Notion, but I did that research with Gemini, and they had an easy Google Docs export feature. So that was my first time using Google Docs by choice in like probably 9 years or something like that. But I did it. So I see Tadas had a question about what fractals mean. He says he's intrigued in what he talked about, Zal. I don't know if anybody set up the fractogram group. Wondering if maybe Tadas should have done that, or maybe Rosmari, or if I should create that. Also, Zal could have done that too, but probably didn't in this case. Did anybody create that, or should I create it?
Wait, what do you mean by what fractals mean, Tadas?
Tadas, you're muted.
Okay, so Zal, you mentioned that whenever you said something like whenever you get an interview with a person from Fractal, you end up talking about what fractals means as opposed to what
Yeah,
they
so
are.
like it's different conversations. So with Harvesto, we had a conversation, and I don't know if this, Dan, you want to pop it up while we're chatting about this, and then send it in the chat. But with Harvesto, we talked about, because his research is on the consensus process of fractals. So one of his questions specifically was about our fractal consensus process and how we do that. And it's different than Optimism Fractal and Eden Fractal. And we've kind of like nurtured our own version of it. So it was interesting to talk about that, because that's not a question I've ever gotten, because no one's ever been invested enough into fractals to know what that is, to also interview me. We had a couple others. I'm forgetting who it was off the top of my head, but he was here for a bit interviewing folks. And I had an interview with him as well.
Patrick?
Patrick, yes. And Patrick, and that interview was awesome as well. Completely different conversation, also about fractals and different ecosystems. So it was really just like their interesting conversation because of the person behind it has already an understanding of what fractals are.
Got it. And by the way, I would want to include Zaal Fractal in the repo I'm building. So
Awesome. Yeah. Let's connect. I've now been dedicating more of my time to the DAO stuff, and I'm excited to talk more. I have to. Is there any way you could send me the docs again? I had them saved somewhere for DAO. I just need to reread through it and like reacclimate my brain to how it might work well for us. And then I'll set up a call with you after I do that, because I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
okay. So you wanted our DAO docs? Link to
Yeah,
DAO.
if you could like DM that to me on Discord, that would be amazing.
Okay,
But no worries if not.
I'll send it.
And then Rosmari, I'm on my computer. Is there any way you can add me? Oh, no, you've already done it. Never mind. Look at that. One step ahead.
Okay, I see Rosemary created the group and there's 4 people in there, but we're waiting for Tadas.
Well, I guess another question, since this is technically all Superchain stuff now, Farcaster, has anyone checked out the base app? I've been playing around with it for like last 3 months, but it's they just like released the whole coining thing, and now Farcaster's releasing collectibles, so it's like a very interesting like space and meta now. If you guys are tapped in on that side, it's definitely an interesting side of the Superchain in decentralized social.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about the Farcaster collectibles yet. I'll have to look into that. And I've been a user of Farcaster for over a year now, I think, occasional user. And I signed up for the waitlist for the base app, but I haven't used it yet. Did you mean that you've actually used the base app?
Yeah, when I was at FarCon in
Uh,
May, they gave out beta codes when they like announced it for the first time, I think, or I don't know if they like didn't like announce it. It was just like
just TBA.
yeah. Well, it wasn't even called TBA then. It was just the Coinbase wallet beta.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, I used it for a bit, but like there were its own like small things, and I think they did a lot of pushes in the last like month and slash 2 weeks until their recent announcements. So they've like constantly been adding updates, but I don't know, for some reason I'm not getting them. So like that's another thing. So like I don't have some of these updates that they've been doing in the last like week. So I don't know what's going on there, but I do think that the competition, just like when Lens and Farcaster were kind of going at it, the competition is good for growth, and having the base app and the Farcaster client, both built on the Farcaster protocol, will be interesting competition to see.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't had the chance to follow Lens all that much. I'm interested to see what they're doing, but to me it seems like
Oh, they're pretty. I've heard it's not too hopping of a place nowadays.
okay. Well, yeah,
But a
Farcaster and Zora and base, that's like a
pretty deadly combo. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's like a super team. It's gonna be tough to compete with
it's
that.
pretty nuts to see like the tech stacks being built side by side as opposed to hierarchically.
Uh-huh. I'm laughing because we commented before on Tadas having a little bit of light before on his ear, and now it's like there's like the entire sun right
Yeah.
now is right behind him. It actually looks like a sunrise a bit over the earth, and then Tadas just covers it up and taking all the sun. You're gonna get a good tan. We're waiting for Harvesto, by the way, to enter your Optimism account into the Telegram room when you get a chance, Harvesto. Please do so when you get a chance. And it's got to be as a response. So if you could please right click or hold down on Rosemary's original, please enter your Optimism account as your part of this message, and then share that as a reply instead of just a general message. Not sure if you heard me there, Harvesto. I was asking, could you please share that again, and just make sure that it's specifically a reply to Rosemary's message? Thank you. All right, and Rosemary can put up the poll whenever you're ready. We're at we've been a bit slow today with the respect game, so we're only 3 minutes from the top of the hour. If anybody needs to go at the top of the hour and has a hard stop, then let us know. In the future, we'll be more punctual about these things. But otherwise, we'll probably just continue for another, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes after. Everybody can stick around to reach consensus and then wrap it up and have any discussions before we close out for the season. And we're now going to rank level 6, so you can share who you think did the most to help Optimism over the past couple weeks now, based upon the presentations that everybody just shared. Okay, and we have 5 votes in. There's 1 vote for Tadas, 2 votes for Harvesto, 1 vote for Zaal, and 1 vote for Rosmari. Would anybody like to get to reach consensus with 4 out of 5? Would anybody like to change their vote or advocate?
I'm advocating for Harvesto because I think his research is really useful, and seeing in the previous meeting he attended, he only got 5 respect last place. I think his research needs to be respected more. That being said, I hope Harvesto you can attend more often, especially Eden Fractal. I think your research is very relevant for Eden Fractal meeting. So if you could attend more of those, I think you could get a lot more respect. I think you deserve more respect for the work you're doing.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with all that. You're very welcome to join the Eden Fractal, and there's big contributions there too. And you convinced me, so I'll vote for Harvesto for level 6 too. So that means I look like somebody else did too. So we now have consensus for Harvesto level 6. And we'll now move on to level 5 to see who did the second most top optimism based on their contributions. Okay, I see Rosemary said, I'm curious, would the research be published? Yeah, I'm very curious about the publishing intentions and timelines and so forth. And Harvesto had mentioned that timing does conflict with his activities, but he'll ensure to be more present moving forward. Sounds great. Appreciate you working on that. We're working to be here as well as working on the research. Oops, I'm giving it a by accident.
Rosemary, the answer to your question, I think yeah, it's gonna be published. I've actually not figured out where to, but I was thinking the Optimistics blog. But yeah, we'll have to figure that out with Dan and Tadas like later when it's ready for public consumption.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, sounds great. I'd be happy to explore putting up on the Optimistics blog, and hoping to amplify it and hoping to curate it alongside with other Fractal content too. So yeah, let me know whenever you're ready to talk about that, or feel free to reach out with any questions or any messages about that going forward. We're waiting for your vote, by the way, Harvesto, for level 5. Could you please vote for who you think did the second most to help Optimism in the Telegram poll?
I'm advocating for Zaal because, like, one of the things I noticed that he had something like a contributor agreement. Well, he called it differently, but it sounded like a contributor agreement, which we want to do as well. So it might be a good example for us to learn from. Artist agreement.
Okay, sounds nice. Harvesto did vote for Tadas, and right now there's 3 votes for Tadas and 2 votes for Zaal. I had voted for Tadas. We don't have consensus, so we need to reach consensus. I'd be happy to change my vote to Zaal, going with Tadas's recommendation there. I voted for Tadas because I think that what he's doing with the Frapps repo is great, and also he did a lot of really helpful stuff for Harvesto too. And I think there's some other reasons. I think he didn't mention Tadas too, which he gave a lot of thoughtful feedback on my comments as well on like the fractal ecosystem development plan. So I appreciate that. But I'm happy to go either way with Tadas or Zaal. So would anybody like to change their votes or to advocate either way? I think what Zaal is doing is awesome in general. Appreciate his focus on what he did for the Superchain, as well as last week at Eden Fractal. I think that Zaal got like a lower ranking. I think he got like 2 or something like that. And I thought that I felt kind of bad about that because I feel like Zaal is like really doing amazing work for the fractal ecosystem, hosting Zaal Fractal and his podcast and all these different things. So I'd be happy to also switch to Zaal for all the stuff he did, plus that as a way to give him more respect too.
I voted for Zaal because if we check his Farcaster account, he's like there all the time. And I mean, I just checked, for example, he provided feedback for Farcaster. I think there was something there that wasn't like the feature that was missing, or like where did it go, and just interacting there a lot. And I see that he built his audience there, and also, for as the reasons that Dan mentioned, him hosting the Zaal Fractal and also doing the podcast and the hatch-free debugging. So that's like a lot of optimism.
That is a lot of optimism. Well put. Zal's looking pretty optimistic too. Zal, you can change your vote for yourself if you want, or you could just keep partying in outer space about this too, or Harvesto if you want to change. But I also changed my vote for Zal, so now Zal
That's
at
fine.
60% and
Yeah.
Tadas is 40%.
So thank you guys. I appreciate the love. And yeah, we're just absolutely killing it with the fractals. So I'm excited to get Nouns DAO, Nouns DAO Africa on board. And I think that there's gonna be a lot of things we can rock out with them, because they, like, I joined in and they literally in their agenda, they also have an agenda which to me is like already better than most of the Nouns DAOs, sub DAOs. And their agenda, one of the parts of it, they mentioned to me to come up and talk about fractals. So I was able to give a little speech, and they were, I think, pretty excited about it. So
Oh, awesome. I didn't know about that aspect. Sharing a little extra contribution here on the top.
yeah, well, that's
cool.
technically not a Superchain contribution. That's a Eden Fractal contribution.
Oh, okay. Well, most of the fractal software happens to be on the Superchain right now, so
That's fair.
just saying, although it is EVM
That is
compatible.
fair.
So, well, cool. I'd be happy to hear more about that, and yeah, I'm very curious to learn more about it. But it looks like for now we've reached consensus with Zaal at level 5. So now we'll move on to level 4 to see who did the third most to contribute to the fractal ecosystem. No, not the fractal ecosystem. My bad. It's not Eden Fractal. The third most to contribute to the Optimism ecosystem, the Superchain, based on the contributions that were shared during today's meeting. Okay, and we have consensus for Tadas at level 4. And now we'll move on to level 3. And we're just waiting for the DOS.
Voted.
Okay, thanks. Looks like I have consensus for level 3. And it means for us we'll be level 2 for this week. We all get respect. We successfully completed our 66th respect game at Optimism Fractal. Woohoo! And thanks all. Hope that everybody had a fun time. I know I did. I see Harvesto's putting up the party confetti. We've had quite a bit of confetti today. So, Rosmari, when you get a chance, if you could please put out the prompt so we can post it on chain. And then we can get going whenever we're ready. We don't have an Optimism Town Hall scheduled for this week, but there were a couple topics that people brought up that might be interesting to discuss if we want to stick around for a bit longer and have a bit of an open conversation, or we can have a big party before the end of the year break, just spontaneous before the end of the year break.
So is the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks the break?
Yeah, well, it's
Or
kind
do
of
we have another Eden Fractal and then the break?
Yeah, so Eden Fractal will be meeting next week on July 31st.
The 31st, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's when I'm going to be bringing Easy and Jose as well to talk more about the impact concerts for the
Okay.
second part of that.
Excellent.
Right.
Thank
For
you
the
for
Optimism Fractal. I mean, the Eden Fractal Town Hall.
Yeah. It is the Eden Town Hall. It is called, but
Oh.
yeah, it's right after Eden Fractal, and if you want, you can call it Eden Fractal Town Hall too. I see Rosemary wrote, I'm going to go soon because it's late, so I prefer to go. Okay, sounds good, Rosemary. Well, thanks for being here with us, and much respect to you. And thanks also for posting the results over there, so everyone can now submit the results here. And yeah, if anyone wants to go, then feel free. We'll wrap it up whenever we're ready, but I'll just maybe just give it a little space in case anybody wants to share any thoughts before we part ways for the summer break. And if we want to follow up on any of the thoughts that people brought up previously, then we can do so here as well.
Wait, whoa, this is really cool. I've never seen this dashboard.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how I literally I think it just happens to be that I've been missing the Optimism Fractal ones. Yeah, this is very cool. And I also think I haven't been able to submit sometimes. This is fancy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so this
I'm gonna have to play
this
around in it.
this is our DAO or DAO venue or DAO front end. This is what you will get if you deploy our DAO.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll have to play around in here. Looks very cool.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that yet, so I recommend checking out the video. I mean, this has been deployed for Eden Fractal as well as Ordau Fractal. And then like a month or two ago, maybe 2 months ago, we created a video where we gave like a walkthrough of it. I just shared a link in the Zoom chat, and Rosemary also shared optimistic.io/Ordau, which has both the video as well as more details. So yeah, I recommend you watching the video if you haven't seen it, as well as the article has more resources and the GitHub and stuff. But yeah, that video
Awesome.
provides like a really nice, concise. It's 25 minutes long, but it's like
That
pretty
is
concise.
perfect, actually.
And
No, that's exactly what I'll do that, and then I'll look through the docs, Tadas,
okay.
and then I'll shoot you a message, and we can figure out what will work for the Zaal. Because yeah, there's definitely some ways we can make it rock out, and I think this is just really cool.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I wanted to note one note regarding the proposal to for the break. And then you mentioned a couple of times that the proposal had unanimous support, but actually there are 5 votes.
How did you vote on it?
Yeah, I did not yet vote on it. I just saw it this today. Now I do support the idea, but again, this is something to note about this current council process in Optimism Fractal. But one thing I did not get any kind of notification. I'm not constantly checking our snapshot, so I didn't know that there was a proposal already submitted. And yeah, and the fact
Maybe
that you
part of
can.
the consensus can be to reach out in the Discord at everyone. I don't know if that is part right now or you did that, but that could definitely be an additional notification system. I feel like that might help all of us because that's like another reason I have like I even though I haven't been at putting in my seat for the council recently because I haven't been attending a lot of Optimism Fractals, but there are a lot of things that can be done permissionlessly, like without being at every single fractal. But like I don't want to miss something and then not be involved in that conversation, right? So it's like if we are putting uh is there a place to have discussions on proposals um in the
What's that?
Discord? Or
There,
no, well, I was talking about Discord. Is Discord's the only other place Optimism Fractal lives, correct?
yeah, there's a Telegram group that Will posts in sometimes, but nobody else really posts there, and we just pretty much we only had it there just like reserve the
There is a
namespace.
Telegram group.
Yeah, there's a Telegram
Yeah.
group. If you want to join, you can. It's t.me/Optimism Fractal. But like, it's kind of confusing if you have both a Telegram group and Discord. So we don't really post there.
Yeah, makes
But
sense.
I just created that so that like somebody else wouldn't take t.me/Optimism Fractal, and then I think Will and a couple other people started just posting there randomly. So if anyone wants to join it, then you
Uh-huh.
can. But you're not going to find too many updates there that are like helpful.
But
I guess.
so it would be, I feel like, helpful to have a text channel that's specifically about proposals where you can add everyone and then people can come in if they have questions about the proposal before they want to submit on chain, they can ask that there as well.
Yeah, so I mean, we do have so a couple things. One is that we do have a governance channel in
Yeah,
Discord
but that's
that
not
we've
been
never really used.
used.
Yeah, and there's only one message there. And then also, I usually post it in the Discord channel. I'll post like my own message saying, "Hey, everybody, I made this proposal," and
See, but so the reason why I think you should make a new channel specifically just called just proposals or change governance to proposals is because there are a lot of notifications that do come through. So like sometimes if someone's gonna go through announcements, they might read all, but if they go through, see it, and then see a one on governance, it might be another or not, sorry, one on proposals. It's like, okay, no, I need to check in on proposals. So versus like
Mhm.
sometimes like for people like me and Tadas, I imagine we don't really read 100% of every single message because we know when we're going to come and where we're going to be, right? So I do think that there is a benefit to having a proposals only specific, like about talking about the proposals, but also getting notifications about proposals tab in the Discord.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm open to doing that. We can just go ahead and create that if it'd be useful. Thanks to DOS for fixing the link. Maybe I messed up on that. And then,
Six
uh,
members, let's go.
yeah, we're growing. Uh,
Well, it'll be
um,
7 soon.
yeah, there also is the Optimism Fractal and Hats chat, which has like 25 or something like
I
that. So
am
it's
in that
probably
one.
good.
I am in that
Yeah.
one already, so we're good.
Yeah, but no proposals are going on there. Other options too for that. So I do usually post in the general chat, but this week I just didn't just because I've had this these past couple weeks I just haven't had nearly as much time as I want to do these things, and so I had just told Rosmari that this proposal was there, and then I meant to post it myself, but then I lost track of time and I had something else come up, and then Rosmari put up how you can learn more about the strategic pause and vote on the proposal snapshot. I was also under the impression that it was the last council, it was just me, Will, and Rosemarie who were in that council. So I was like, okay, well,
Mm-mm.
Rosemarie voted yes for it because she told me she was going to vote yes for it, and I'm voting yes for it. So it can be more of like just an announcement. It didn't need to be like a community wide thing. And we also discussed in the past two events we had, and it seemed like everybody was cool with it. So yeah, I definitely should have posted on the Discord too. So my apologies that I didn't post it at all. But and that was my thinking that basically because I was and I'm still not totally clear if it's the five counselors of this people. I think it was actually because that just went into effect now. So technically, it was just the three counselors: me, Will, and Rosemary, and me and Rosemary and Will voted for it, and that's why I said,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Sorry,
so
that was my bad. You're correct. Like I looked at the wrong poll for counselors.
okay. So yeah, going forward, I'll definitely make sure to do my best to post that in there. It's not too difficult, but I'd wanted to write like a bit longer message, and then I just took the chance and figured that was good enough. And then if we're up for it, I mean, I'm up for it if we want to create a proposals channel. I don't know if both the Optimism Town Hall and Optimism Fractal proposals would be in that same channel, but I guess they could. And then it could just be a simple thing, like even not sharing a message about it, but just like simply sharing a link. If people don't have time, you could just share a link to your proposal at least. I also have the Lighthouse app. At one point, the developer of the Lighthouse app joined Optimism Town Hall, and he showed us this app, and then I downloaded it, and now I get notifications on my phone whenever anybody makes a proposal on Snapshot. So that's a nice thing. It works on iOS and maybe Android too. I don't know. And then also there is
Oh, that's cool. What's it called?
it's called Lighthouse.
Can I just download it, or is it
Yeah.
a PWA or?
You can download in the App Store. So I don't know if
Okay,
it's
awesome.
PWA as well. It might be, but I just downloaded in the iOS App Store.
.io,
Um,
or is it called something else?
it's just called Lighthouse. I'll also check the App Store
Does it have a
too.
bunch of circles, concentric circles?
It has just like one
Blue.
big kind of like circle that looks like a light, or like it's like a
Huh.
black the Lighthouse voting or something maybe if you search for. Um, it might be difficult to find actually because they have like a pretty generic name. Yeah. I could also maybe send you the link to it because
Yeah,
they...
this does not look like it, so.
All right, yeah, I'll try finding a link to it. Yeah, they picked a tough name, man. I'm scrolling through like 20 lighthouses trying to get to it right
Oh my
now.
God, you know what the worst is? Is Naynar with the Farcaster API company. Naynar.
What's
They
bad about that?
literally, Neymar always shows up in SEO. Search it right now, Naynar. I can't even find it in Google when I just Google their name
It really seems like that
because
would be
it,
like pretty,
try it,
pretty.
N-E,
Okay, I
Nay,
see.
and
Give me Neymar, Brazilian soccer player, which isn't spelled right.
exactly. That's the
Really?
problem.
I suppose
So
you
it's
could.
like their SEO is so bad because of that.
Yeah. Even if I put parentheses around it, it still doesn't get it. It still thinks it's just a misspelling of the Brazilian football player.
So yeah,
Um,
maybe not like XYZ might help, but like I don't know, or I don't even know if
yeah.
it's that. It might just be .com. But anyways, I digress.
Uh,
I
uh,
yeah, had a good week this week.
okay, good to hear. I did just share Lighthouse. It's lighthouse.cx, which is I don't know why it's
Um,
CX. That's a pretty rare thing, but if you go to lighthouse.cx, then you can find that it's on both Google Play and the App Store for Apple. So and it's quite a good app. It had like a little bit of bugs here and there, but I've also been in contact with a developer and can help you get in contact with him if you want.
it's called Lighthouse Governance, by the way, if you want to tell anyone else.
Okay, Lighthouse Governance.
That's how you can
You're
search it
all
in the
here
App Store,
here.
probably.
Yeah, that makes it easier. So yeah, that app helps. It gives you notifications. There's also another app or another service called Domino.run that you can set up to get automatic postings of um, things that are on Snapshot into Discord, but that takes time to like set up, I guess. And so I've never had time to set that up, but that's been something that's been like on my list for a while since I learned about that. So that's another option. But I suppose in the meantime, like maybe just post it in Discord whenever there's a proposal and can make a proposals channel if Tadas thinks that's really or if Zaal thinks it's a really good idea or if other people in agreement, then I'm happy to do that. Um, and yeah, I suppose going forward, those will help us to get better with um, our proposals and so forth. And maybe at some point can um, sunset that governance group or something like that. There's also chats in the also too. There's another thing that there's also email reminders too in Snapshot. If you go to Snapshot and then you just type in, or you just go in the top right corner and you can get email reminders. That's another option for people who want to get reminders in a different way too.
That's interesting. There might be a way to integrate Lighthouse for DAO. Looking through the docs now.
Oh, really? What, so you can
Well, it
yeah.
might need some work, but I mean, it seems like their goal is to enable to like be the place for any notification to serve notifications for any AVM based community, and they have like leaders.
Interesting. Yeah, that'd be super cool. It is like a pretty like slick app, and they're pretty well supported. I've seen them make proposals, and I think they get approved. I think they might be being funded by Uniswap or some people like that. Like I've seen them make proposals on some of these big governance forums. And yeah, the developer he joined and showcased Lighthouse during a retro pitches event maybe 6 months ago or 8 months ago, and then since then we've been in contact a bit, and he invited me to join the Discord group too. So if it'd be useful, I can share the Discord group with you, or they probably have it, but they have like some special group he said that they have or something. So but that'd be cool though to make it so that um it kind of makes OrDAO become like an iOS or Google Play app as well, if possible. At least to get notifications for it. I don't know if anybody has any other thoughts on this topic. We're past time. We don't really have any formal agenda here, so we could wrap it up. Also curious, I know Harvesto, there's something you brought up before that you expressed an interest in talking about regarding, I don't remember quite what it was now, but there's something you talked about with Will as far as how respect could be distributed or something like that. People join late to events. If you want to remind us of that, or if anybody else had any other thoughts on this whole Lighthouse and uh, governance proposal. I suppose maybe I'll just go with Zal's recommendation, just create a proposals channel, and that'll be a simple way to just have a proposals channel, and we can conclude with that, and then people can also download Lighthouse, because that's not a good way to conclude with that. I see Harvester's unmuted too, but maybe before we move on to Harvester's topic, we should just see if there's any last thoughts about the governance notifications for proposals. That's not a good plan going forward. Just create the proposals chat or proposals channel, I guess it is. Does anybody have any thoughts on this, or should we just
Yeah, I think we should do it.
okay. Done.
Let's do it. I mean,
Put
amazing.
it. All right. Made Zal happy.
I love it. I
It's been a
love it.
successful
Appreciate you,
day.
Dan.
I
Yeah,
appreciate you too, Zal.
exactly. And yeah, keep killing it. We will talk soon. I'll reach out to you about connecting maybe this next week, and then yeah, we'll have Easy and Jose join us for Eden Fractal to talk more about the fractal concerts.
Sounds great.
Which I think they have pretty. We talked about it last weekend. They ended up just texting me and then doing that call right then. And they pretty much have the general setup set. For like the idea is kind of gonna be to have someone talk for 3 to 5 minutes and then have a song or two in between, and then have someone else talk for 3 to 5 minutes. Probably you just be the first like official talker, right? Like Easy will probably MC, and he'll shoot it over to you after like maybe the first song, have a couple songs in between, then over to me, a couple songs in between, then to Jed and Generic to talk about Nouns DAO Africa, a couple songs in between, then at the end maybe the three of us can be on a conversation dash panel, or four of us can be on a conversation dash panel and answer questions dash also have them ask questions about fractals, and then Tadas or anyone else who's from the Optimism Fractal community that wants to speak is super. Optimism or Eden is super welcome to join. So if you want to share that as an opportunity during the Eden Fractal, if someone is interested to reach out and we can see if we can fit them in, we can also do that. So I think they have a good idea of what we can do, and then we can share that with you guys on the 31st next week.
Right. Well, sounds great. Thank you all for the update and hoping to coordinate that. That's very much appreciated. And that whole agenda sounds good too. I appreciate you inviting both Easy and Jose for the next week's Eden Fractal and Eden Town Hall. And I'm looking forward to talking about it more then, as well as we're going to talk about the Zao Fractal idea there, and also the legislative consensus process too for Eden Fractal. Those are the things that are on the agenda for Eden Town Hall next week. So looking forward to it very much. And also I see Harvesto has his hands up now.
Thanks for the opportunity. So, just a recap about what I wanted us to talk about. Yeah. So I was asking Will if he could change anything about the respect game we play at Optimism Fractal, or Optimism Fractal's consensus mechanism, any one of that, what would it be? And before he answered, I shared that for me, I think it's a limitation that the game can only be played by 6 participants in each breakout room. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is my understanding of how it works, right? And I was sharing that for the last call that I joined, some people had to give up their position to receive respect for the work they've done. And definitely out of the goodwill of their hearts, but it's possible that these are the person who's giving up their position is actually the person with maybe the most contributions in the ecosystem, So what's the work around that? And he was saying that, yeah, the the breakout rooms or the respect game is actually designed to be played by 6 people each in the breakout room, and the should I say the issue arises when there is not up to, maybe we have like 8 people or 9 or 10, so it's not up to 6 for each breakout room to coexist, and then each people in the breakout room would play the respect game, right? So yeah, he was saying that it's more like a suggestion that we could start, or rather the attendees could start coming more or earlier to the meetings and all of that. So I had an idea and I was like, I think this should be a rule, and it should also be broadcasted properly, that if you come after a certain period of time, that indicates that there's not enough participants to have 2 or more breakout rooms. If you come after a particular time, maybe when we are exchanging pleasantries or just giving updates, and Dan hasn't started recording the calls, it means you are not there to participate in the respect game. You are more or less an observer. You're not participating, right? So that could be a workaround to this a bottleneck of having to give up your position to play or receive respect if there are more participants than 6. So that's pretty much the idea, right? I do see that you and Rosemary tend to um, push out the information about, oh, we have the event this time, we have this and that, and while you guys are doing that, we can as well add that this is the schedule, this is what to expect. So people actually come earlier, and they have it at the back of their minds that, oh, okay, I need to be seated or on seats, so to say, for this call by this time. If not, I'm just going to cheer on the participators, right? So this is actually a segue to another aspect of my conversation with Will, because I asked him if he could create the perfect like organization or DAO, what or how would it be or how would it look like. So he first shared that about the DAO trilemma, both engaging and making people to participate in both DAO conversations and DAO consensus, right? It's actually a challenge because people are not as engaged as they should be, right? We tend to have, and that's actually one of the causes of DAO's death, right? When you see that a DAO that was once active dies, it's because the engagement has reduced, maybe in consensus or in putting bringing together their ideas and everything. So it's when I think when the parameters are set that this is what to expect, and if you are uh not like it's a rule, but if you're not following this way, following the things this way, this process, you don't get to participate, it's like a cutoff, I guess. I guess you could say that. So people are now more or less incentivized by that ultimatum to participate more, to engage more, right? So that's pretty much the ideal concept.
All right. Thank you, Harvesto, for explaining, and it's much clearer now. And I agree. I think completely, basically. I think that having a more clear agenda with like a cutoff time is something that will be very useful to give people a clear idea of exactly what time people need to be there. 'Cause sometimes people roll in late and then we want to accommodate them, and that can sometimes be a bit awkward, I suppose, with when we also want to make sure that everybody who's there early gets respected for what they've done and for being there on time too. So I think that, I mean, one of the things we've been able to do is have it where like we start the call at a specific or start the recording at a specific time. And we've also thought about having it where we actually start with like the kind of open conversation pleasantry stuff, maybe 5 or 10 minutes before, and then the recording always starts exactly at the top of the hour. So, for example, it would start at 16:50 UTC is when the break is when the Zoom room would open, and then the recording would start at 17 UTC, and then we could say that the intro will be no longer than say 5 minutes or 7 minutes or maybe 10 minutes or whatever we decide the amount of time would be, and then we could say there's a cutoff time when people are not able to participate anymore after that. Um, I think that'd probably simplify things a lot, and it will probably be something that we have going forward as fractals grow. That's probably just a
I
good
do
rule
like
to
that
have.
as well, because that's something that I've also run up upon where it's like to explain to some people that this isn't just a space that you can pop in and out of, like it's a participatory, like the 45 minutes that you're here, you have to like be involved at least semi, especially at the end there with the governance. So I think also maybe also allowing an option for people to just spectate if they aren't there for the whole time, and making sure that's part of the documentation might be another good thing to add in addition to having a specific time that's a cutoff.
Yep. Yeah, I've also heard that feedback too, that some people wanted to just join and watch and um, have that kind of spectator mode too. So I agree, having that option for that would be great, as well as having specific times for when things start and for like cutoffs when you can play. Um, I think for the time being, like it's okay to have it where it's more informal sometimes because we're kind of in that state when sometimes we do just have 7 people. And when fractals grow, if there's hundreds of people, then that's not such an issue because there'll be more breakout groups and so forth. But there'll always be sometimes an
Have
odd
you
amount
ever
of people
had
and so forth.
have you ever had like two breakout rooms at the same time, like up to 12 people for a meeting?
Yeah, so I mean, so Optimism Fractal has had 2 breakout rooms many times. Probably about half its meetings has been with 2 breakout rooms, something like that. I know Zaal Fractal pretty often has 2 breakout rooms when it has 3 breakout rooms. With Eden Fractal, we used to have like 3 or 4 breakout rooms when it first started pretty consistently. So we definitely had two. I'm not sure, maybe the times that you've been here, it's been relatively smaller, but we've had 2 breakout rooms many times and sometimes three and occasionally 4. And then back in the Genesis fractal, we often had like 6 breakout rooms or 7 or somewhere around there. And then long-term goal is to have much more as well. Would you like to share more, Harvest? I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I think the why we need to implement this moving forward, that's after the summer break and all. One of the focus could be to maybe increase or improve marketing, increase and improve engagement, because I haven't actually checked, but I could check right now, and I'm pretty sure for Optimism Fractal, we have like maybe up to uh hmm, I can't see the amount of members, but maybe up to 100 people in the Discord or more than, right? And we need more of these people to participate. We need more of them to join the meetings and share what they've been up to, right? So improving in the engagement, improving in the marketing, so they can come, and then we have more breakout rooms consistently. And yeah, like you said, I think the calls or the meetings I've attended have almost always been, or has always been, just one breakout room, maybe 8 to 9 people you get. So yeah, the more people are active, the more people participate, the more breakout rooms we can have. And we can also share the schedule so people know what to expect during each meeting. And it's actually something they look forward to during their week, you know.
Yeah, great points. Thank you, Harvesto. I agree. And so, yeah, I think there's 66 people in the Optimism Fractal Discord group, and then there's something like maybe 75 people or so who participate in the event so far. But yeah, our average participation, especially the past couple seasons, it's been lower. And the average participation throughout has probably been like maybe 6 or 7 or 8 people, uh, sometimes with 5 or 4 people as well. So it would it would definitely be good to encourage more people to join, and it'll be better for Optimism Fractal as well as everybody who's contributing when we have more people joining. And that's going to be one of our main goals going forward after the summer break and in future seasons, because Optimism Fractal will be able to create a larger impact in the Optimism Collective and the Superchain and in the world when it lives up to its name of being fractal, and it's not just one breakout room, but it's I suppose we're living up to our name of being fractal right now as we're having many respect games and so forth, but it'll become much more fractal as it grows with more breakout rooms and more branching out and more collaboration shared and more contributions to optimism. So yeah, in the past months it's been kind of like small community, and to some extent that's been helpful because we've also been like kind of working on a lot of things in the background and so forth, so we haven't been promoting it as much as we could. But I agree that having more consistency in the scheduling and also sharing that in the different chats, and increasing the engagement, that's a big priority. And I appreciate you thinking about that, Harvesto. And feel free to help us to better promote it and to share your research and so forth. We very much appreciate you working on the research as well as thinking about different ways that we can help grow Optimism Fractal and create a bigger impact. And I see that'll help us all in the long term. So it empowers all the contributors to Optimism Fractal. So I see you putting the hearts and shady smiley faces. So yeah, if there's anything else you want to share, then feel free. But I think that's a good plan to try to do that going forward and after the summer break with the schedule and the agenda. I'll do my best to start doing that with Rosmari, but also feel free to remind us if we're not remembering. We also have a lot on our plate on a small team too. So there's lots of things that we try to do, but we don't get around to until a while. So yeah, I'll do my best to do that, and I'll talk with Rosmari about it over the break, uh, and then going forward, if you have any feedback or reminders or other questions, then feel free to share, and it's very welcome. Thank you, Harvesto.
And maybe more contributors could help that would focus on marketing if you need more.
Yeah. Hey, oh shoot, sorry, I'm far away. Hopefully that's a little bit better.
I can hear you.
Dan, if you and Rosmari want to make a group chat with me, I can add in Sam on our team, and we can see how we can also support you guys with some of that stuff, because I think that there's ways we can co-collaborate with what Sam's been doing and be able to also easily add that into some of the workflow for Optimism Fractal. So maybe that's something we can talk about during the break or even when we come back.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you, Zaal. I think we're planning to talk at some point soon, so just let me know whenever you want to talk about the things you want to talk about, and would be happy to talk about that when we meet as well, or potentially at an upcoming town hall or Zaal Fractal or something like that. Happy to make time and figure out a good place to talk about that. not sure who you're referring to when you talk about Sam. I don't know if that's the
Candy
person.
Toy Box, my bad. I don't know if you've met her,
Oh,
but
oh, you mean Candy?
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, Sam Candy. Okay, you're right.
my
Um,
bad.
no, no problem at all. I remember her name is Sam, but I just had her in as Candy in my mind, so I didn't think about it. But yeah, that'd be awesome though. Candy slash Sam is super cool, and would love to chat more with you and her. And yeah, really appreciate your interest in helping to promote it. And so I'd be happy to set up that group chat, or if you want to create the group chat, yeah, and feel free to invite both me and Rosemarie, or I can invite Rosemarie as well, and also Harvesto or Tadas or anybody else. If you want to join, then that's very welcome too. You know, everybody who wants to help to better promote and better raise the awareness of Optimism Fractal and have more people join. And also we can make it very synergistic, where it also helps Zaal Fractal too, and people who learn about Optimism Fractal can learn about Zaal Fractal, Eden Fractal, and other fractals going on in the ecosystem. And I agree with what Tadas said as well, where when we can attract more people to join these events, then they can also earn respect by contributing to these events as well, or by contributing to these communities. And one of the ways they can help is by promoting. So there's a flywheel that can happen that we've been working on, and that's also some of the stuff we've been working in the background, like also making it so people can earn funding by contributing and so forth. That's one of the things I've been working on lately. Um, but yeah, once we get started with that flywheel, which I think we're pretty close to, then um, people will have a lot of incentive, I think, to promote the events and promote the communities and so forth. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. And in the meantime, and yeah, either way, it'd be great to talk about these things and collaborate more to invite more people to the events and attract more contributors and help more people enjoy Optimism Fractal as well as other fractals as well. Does anybody have any other thoughts? Tadas or Harvesto Zaal? We've been going for almost 2 hours now. This is almost like a impromptu Upton Town Hall. But happy to stick around a bit longer if anybody wants to discuss any of these in more detail or has anything else in your mind. Or we can wrap it up now if we're ready, and then we'll see each other again for Eden Fractal, and then we'll embark for our summer break.
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds good with me too. I see Tadas gives a thumbs up, and sounds like it's good with Harvester too, based on the silence here. But thanks so much, everyone, for all the insightful discussions as well as all the great contributions to optimism and Optimism Fractal. I see Harvester giving a thumbs up now. So yeah, I think maybe there's only one thing left to do here, which is we can count down and say go Optimism Fractal. Maybe there's actually two things to do. So as a reminder for everyone here and everybody watching, we will be returning from our summer break from Optimism Fractal on Thursday, September 4th at 17 UTC. The upcoming two events in August will not be occurring to that proposal for Optimism Fractal, and we'll have the Eden Fractal event, the last event of the first half of the season, on July 31st. So invite everyone to join the Eden Fractal event on July 31st at 17 UTC, and hope to see you all there. And we're also going to have an Eden Town Hall afterwards where we have some great discussions planned. And yeah, then we'll be back for Optimism Fractal in September for our second half of the season. And I think we have a lot of great learnings, a lot of great things to think about now, and some great next steps to make our second half of the season even better and to have a really strong second half of the season and go into towards the end of the year with doing amazing things on the Superchain. So thanks so much to everyone who's been here and contributed so much. And with that, I think it'd be good if you all would like to join me, and as we maybe count down, say go Optimism Fractal.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right. Well, 3, 2, 1.
Go
Optimism
Fractal.
All right. Thanks all. See you next time.
Peace.
See you.